The girl wouldn't stop laughing when she climbed out of the trees and tried to break into my car at 4 a.m. Almost a year ago, I was an opener at a resort, clocking in before 5 a.m. each day. The resort is located inside an affluent neighborhood in a very wealthy town/suburb. Employees had to park in one of the two parking lots at either ends of the property, and the lot I chose was adjacent to a long and windy road outside the resort, which led to the rest of the neighborhood. The road and the resort were separated by a short range of brush and trees that no one ever walked through. I'd arrived one morning per usual, and put the car into park with my headlights still on. The lights in the lot weren't ever on in the morning, since no one really showed up before 6 a.m., when the sun was out, so it was usually always dark at the start of my walk. Save for the security, I was one of the first employees to arrive on the property each morning and was usually completely alone in this particular parking lot at this time. This morning didn't seem any different. I had my hand literally at my keys, my brain in the process to turn off my car, when I noticed a young girl, maybe like 14 or 15 years old, come scampering. Her body language was the exact definition: run with quick, light steps, especially through fear or excitement, through the span of the trees that separates the resort from the outside road. She was directly in front of my car, and my headlights illuminated a clear view of her in the pitch black. She looked like she was in high school, had long blonde hair, and was wearing a jacket with pajamas, maybe, like she just walked out of a house. One thing about her that bothered me was that she wouldn't stop laughing and smiling. I couldn't hear her laughing from the outside of the car, but she was visually giggling at something I wasn't aware or could see, and it was so unnatural. She occasionally glanced behind her, as if someone else were there waiting away from the headlights. She then waved at me like it was a normal gesture at this time, and then immediately ran to my passenger side door. This all happened in a matter of seconds, and I wasn't really sure what was even happening besides my anxiety spiking. I know I simultaneously yanked the aux from my phone to shut whatever song had been playing off while grabbing the lock button. I remember feeling panic for never remembering if it's up or down to lock when the girl began pulling violently and incessantly on the door handle of the passenger side. I realized because I didn't turn my car off, it had stayed locked. She began pounding on the window, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs for her to leave before pressing on my horn. I could see her laughing outside like this were some type of game, as if I was some silly friend not letting her in on a joke. After a few seconds, she stopped pounding and tried to open my car door. Her face fell flat like I had disappointed her, and she started to walk away from my car back the way she came. She waved at me again before squeezing through the trees out of view of my headlights. This whole encounter confused me almost as much as it scared me. Most people I told the story to just chalked it up to her being on drugs, but that narrative hasn't felt right for me despite her behavior. Maybe she was just being an extremely out-of-touch teenager whose parents need a firmer grip on her. My first thought was possibly human trafficking, but I'm not sure if that would fit the scenario as I'm not the most well-versed with the subject. I told someone when I made it to the LP, but they didn't seem to care much. I didn't call the police, and I regret that. I'll never get that out of my brain, though, how fucking off the feeling was watching a stranger, seemingly alone, pop out from the trees in the darkness laughing, and then try to violently enter your car in an empty parking lot. I do think the possibility of someone else being present the whole time is a lot more scary. I wonder who else was there and where exactly. TLDR, a girl wouldn't stop laughing while she tried to break into my car at 4 a.m. with me inside.